I recently read Jordan Peterson's first book, Maps of Meaning, and it is probably now my favorite book. It is a book about religion and the psychology that goes on behind it. Basically, what he begins with is that we have been plopped into this universe and we don't know anything when we get here. We start with a blank slate of knowledge. We don't know anything, and everything we know now, we have to figure it out through trial and error and by setting goals for ourselves and then trying to achieve them. In the evolutionary world that we first found ourselves, where everything is based on goals, where the base realities are food, survival, thriving, in the evolutionary environment that we first found ourselves, that we to some extent still do, the basic reality is not atoms and quarks. The basic reality is, what should be, and how we get there. It is a reality based on goals. Science is just a subordinate part of that. In the Darwinian sense, there are only three types of things. The first thing is what is relevant to you. The second thing is what is a tool for you to achieve your goal and to help you advance in what you want to achieve. And the third thing is an obstacle that stops you, that is dangerous to you, for example. And the journey to a better world is filled with challenges. We have to go out into the unknown and we have to try to get what we need by facing the challenges that we will inevitably face. That is where things around us stop working like we expect them to, where our mental maps of the world stop applying and stop working. But if we stay where the world is predictable, if we stay where we can expect what is going to happen, then there is nothing to be found. Then we cannot survive because there is no food. It is already explored territory and everything that has to be found over there has already been taken, already been eaten, for example. In the comfort zone, we don't have to face any challenge, but we also don't get any reward from it. We don't get any gold, we don't get any food, and thus we are dead anyways. In this way of looking at the world, the fundamental reality is the comfort zone and everything out of it. Jordan Peterson refers to this as order and chaos. Order is the place where we are secure, where we are safe, and where we can expect what is going to happen. It is where we are protected, and order is predictable basically, and chaos is everything that is outside of it. Chaos is nature, it is danger, it is nourishment as well though, because chaos is where everything comes from. Chaos is the birthplace of everything, and that is why chaos is feminine, because mothers are the ones who give birth. That is why we say Mother Nature. That is why we say Mother Earth. Chaos is where everything is birthed, where everything comes into existence, but it is also where everything dies, where everything is destroyed, and that is why it is so dangerous as well. And that is exactly what order, what society protects us from. Chaos is at the outside, and society is a buffer between an individual, which is us, and between chaos, which is the great destructive force with everything that we can never expect is going to happen, where everything is so dangerous that nothing about our mental maps works, where we can not expect what is going to happen almost ever. We need both order and chaos, but we need them in the right amount. Too much of either is very, very dangerous. Both of them have a good side and a bad side as well. Order can become tyrannical, and it often does, for all the things it doesn't let you do or forces you to do. This is the expectations of society that are imposed upon us. Chaos, on the other hand, is filled with danger because it is outside our conceptual understanding of the world. But order is important because it stops us from constantly being in territory that is unpredictable, dangerous, and chaos is important because it has gold to offer or something valuable. It has prey, it has food, it has nourishment, a good territory, water, river, whatever it can be. These two are one of the things that are represented in the yin and yang. We need a healthy amount of both of them to live a good life, and the best life is on the line between both of them. That is called the Tao, by the way. The way, or the path of life. That is where we face the challenges that give our life meaning, especially if conquering them has something to offer to us. This wisdom, this way of looking at the world is expressed to us through religions as well. In this way, every religious story, every religious character becomes one of 6 fundamental characters. This is where order is masculine because order protects us. Because masculine icons protect us through military, through kings, or through armies maybe. Feminine figures then are representative of chaos because they are both what masculine figures want and what challenges them, and because they give birth to us as well. Both order and chaos have 2 typical representatives, one good and one bad. For order, there is either the benevolent father, which represents the order that protects you like your country if it is a good one, or the tyrannical father, which imposes on your freedom, like the modern conceptualization of the patriarchy. For chaos, there is the benevolent queen, which gives birth to you, which nourishes you, which makes you into the person you are today, for example, your mother. Or there is the destructive side, which is the dragon or the witch. The other 2 archetypes are of the sun. Those are the hero and the adversary. They are represented in Thor and Loki in the Marvel universe. The hero is usually the protagonist in movies, and the adversary is his brother that has the exact opposite goal. This is the Darwinian way of looking at reality, instead of the Newtonian way in which modern people tend to look at it. The Darwinian way has reality as influenced by evolution, because reality itself has changed us over so long periods of time. The monkey who was too interested in atoms 5 million years ago is now dead. He was not able to discover Newtonian physics. But the monkey who was interested in social hierarchies, who was high in social status, who was interested in socializing with people, who was maybe interested in being highly sexually successful, is his genes would still be present in the gene pool today. And that is how evolution changes our way of looking at the world. Literally, the people who didn't fare well, evolutionarily speaking, haven't propagated their genes into the gene pool that exists today. And that way, reality itself has changed the way that we look at the world, has changed the way that we exist in the world itself. The world then is the individual, and culture is the one that is around the individual, that provides a buffer from nature. And culture protects us, but it also tyrannizes us. But at the same time, nature threatens us, but it is also what gives us birth, and it is also what gives everything to us that we have today. Still though, there's only so much protection to be had, and in many ways, snakes seep into our world. That is even the story of Genesis. And that is what we see when our personal world, when our familial world is filled with chaos, is filled with dangerous snakes that we are not even seeing. This is a metaphorical way of looking at the world, where problems becomes snakes, because that is how it was in the evolutionary world. Most of the things that were problems were snakes, were lions, were predators of some sort, and that is represented in the dragon. And most of the things that were important to us, that were valuable to us, were either food or women or gold, which is valuable to all people, and that is how we can flourish in the world, that is how we can thrive in the world. That is how the symbolism with which mythologically presents stories to us has evolved for so long. It is in the Darwinian sense and not in the Newtonian sense. It is not looked at in terms of atoms or quarks or cause and effect like we look at it today. I like to think of this in terms of concentric circles. There's your personal sphere, which has some order and some chaos, and then there's the familial, then there's the societal, and then so on. The purpose of our life really is to get accustomed with more and more levels of chaos, so that we can deal with it, and so that we can tolerate it, and so that we get to have the goal that it has to offer to us. The devouring mother, which is the dangerous side of chaos, is paired with the benevolent mother, which is the good side of, which has everything to give to us that we want. We can have anything that we want, but for that we need to deal with the devouring mother. We need to deal with the challenges that will face us inevitably if we want to have the goal that will come with that. We need to deal with the challenge, and only then can we have what we want. Thanks for watching. This is the next video I think you should check out. I think you like it actually. Bye bye.